think we had to go live for me to get the link. Alrighty.
I gotcha.
Well, we're live now, so fingers crossed if I refresh this thing, it'll actually give us a link. Refresh. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. I'll tweet that out.
So we're live. So for anyone watching the replay, we're just trying to set everything up. Bear with us.
Oh, geez. I'm hearing both audio now. I should pause the live one. Alrighty. Yeah, this is going to be some riveting viewing for the people just tuning in now. Me tweeting and Dylan waiting to retweet.
I'm retweeting now.
Thank God there's an edited version of this when I can actually do an intro. Alrighty.
So where's the chat? How will I just have to look at it on YouTube to see if anyone's commenting, sort of thing? And
The chat should pop up just in our Hangout. That's how it did when we did our first stream, but then it didn't last week. So
yeah, no, I don't think it is doing it.
Oh, but it did for my guests last week. It just didn't for me. But I'll keep the YouTube one up anyway. Just
We've already got people in the chat. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I'll mute that.
Welcome, guys, in the chat. We're just doing some tweets now. The podcast will start soon. For some reason, we couldn't get a link to tweet it out until we went live, which doesn't normally happen. Alrighty. Featuring special guests.
Hello, Varun. Happy early birthday to Varun.
What's up, Varun?
Birthday soon.
Thanks for tuning in 2 weeks in a row, big fella.
Check out Varun's channel if you want to watch some dancing videos. He's got some great stuff over there.
He is a fantastic dancer. Lots of very well edited videos, edited by yours truly. Definitely check those out, especially his Instagram. He's doing some quality dancing over there. That's where he puts up most of his stuff. Alrighty.
What do you guys think of my mug?
I love it, man. Alrighty. Oh, there we go. Okay, so my chat for some reason only pops up if you're looking at the actual YouTube link. And yeah, Ollie, Spruce Moose, I want to fuck you too, man. Thank you for putting that in the chat. All right. Oh, man, all the Newcastle boys popping up in the chat. Travis Kramer as well. But we might as well jump into it.
Kiss me, Dad.
Welcome one and all to episode 15 of the CasualCast. I'm your host, as always, Sam Nicholson, joined alongside by two special guests, Dylan Swain and Drew Agnew. How you guys doing?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem, anytime. So Dylan is a veteran of the CasualCast, been here many an episode. But yeah, this is a debut for Drew. So happy to have you on, man. If you guys are interested in anything that he does the House of Mario podcast, as well as he's on Twitch and YouTube is at iDrewby. Definitely check him out. Does lots of cool Nintendo stuff and lots of streaming as well. So definitely check that good stuff out. Ben, once again, can't make it. He's missed 2 episodes in a row. He's probably the worst employee I could have ever had at Ben's Lab. So if you're watching, Ben, screw you. You're banned from the show. And yeah, we might as well actually jump into topic number 1. So the first topic for today's show is things that you do that are un-Australian. Because I had to think about things the other day, especially with the Ashes on at the moment. And I was thinking, I hate cricket. And often I hear that that is a very un-Australian sort of quality that I've got there. I just can't stand watching cricket and sort of got the ball rolling in my head. I do a lot of things that are un-Australian. So yeah, what do you guys do that would be considered un-Australian?
Well, you took my only one there. That's Thanks, Sambo.
No worries, man. I got you covered.
I wrote it down, actually. Sambo gave me the topic before we started. I wrote down on my notes, things I do that are un-Australian. I wrote down, I hate cricket, world's shittest sport. But it's auto-corrected to world's shortest sport. And let me tell you, it's not the world's shortest sport. It's the longest sport in the world by far, and it's the most boring sport in the world. I hate it. To play and to watch.
Any sport that has a part called tea time isn't a real sport. But what about you, Drew?
No, I'm not a big cricket fan either. The only time I really think about cricket is when I'm on the way to the beach and it's like a 50-degree day and I'm just thinking, why?
Yeah.
You're in your big long trousers. You're in long, yeah. I'm like, ugh.
I don't mind backyard cricket though. The occasional backyard cricket, just like mates, but not an actual cricket sport. You know,
See, that's
just
very
having a
Australian.
hit. Yeah, that's very Australian. I don't really have many things I don't think that I am un-Australian in, other than cricket, to be honest.
All right. Well, here's a hot take for you both. I hate Vegemite. I can't stand it. It tastes just disgusting. It's bitter filth. And then I don't know. There's a photo of you with 2 jars of Vegemite next to your face on your wall there, Dill. So I don't know what your opinions are, but man, like, oh.
Thank you, but I'm out. How do I end? Just
yeah, you can hang up the call now.
I can't do this shit, to be honest. I'm out. No, that's. Were you just saying that to get me angry, or do you not like Vegemite?
No, I legitimately hate it. It's filthy.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. No, that's. I'm getting heated here now. Yeah, Vegemite. You're very un-Australian, Sambo. Great topic. Vegemite is the world's greatest food. It's an absolute Australian icon. How dare you say that? If you've noticed, I think in the chat, you can see my profile picture there. It is 2 jars of Vegemite, which I was so happy the day they released the Vegemite cans where you could get your name printed on it. Oh, that completed my life. Vegemite chocolate, love it too. Vegemite meat pies aren't the best, but Vegemite
There are Vegemite meat pies and chocolate. Like, that's the first I've heard of this.
Yeah, there's also Milo chocolate coming out. I am so keen for that.
Okay, so instead of chocolate dirt, you get actual chocolate. So that's not too bad. What are your thoughts on the matter, Drew?
I like Vegemite, but I'm more of a Promite guy.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, I can dig Promite. Promite isn't as bitter and filthy.
How dare you? I've never tried Promite and I never will. That's just, it's un-Australian, and I'll never stoop to that level. Is Promite Australian though?
Don't know.
I don't think so.
I got to Google this actually.
Yeah, you get on that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It's better than Mighty Mite. We know that for sure.
Absolutely. Anything is better than Mighty Mite. Actually, even Vegemite is better than Mighty Mite. But I don't know. I can dig a good Promite and cheese on a Sayo or something like that. That's quality. Vegemite is just filth.
Promite is Australian, apparently. So
it is.
You're still Australian for enjoying Promite.
There you go.
Thank God for that.
Can I say, like,
Vegemite's
marketing team has done a pretty good job. Like, they've somehow just taken the market of like the most Australian food, haven't they? Whether you like it or not, when people think Australian foods, they think Vegemite. I don't know how they did that. It's literally like a thing you put on toast. It's not not a lot of people would think that's the greatest thing out there, but somehow they've got the market for Australian foods.
Wasn't that a few years ago? Wasn't that sold to a American company?
It was, and they did buy it back though. But even once it was American, it was still the most Australian food somehow. They've got a good marketing team, I'll give you that.
Absolutely. But another thing that I really can't stand that is probably considered un-Australian are the Crocodile Dundee movies. They suck. They're horrible. I don't know. I've copped a lot of shit for that opinion in my life, but I stand by it. I'm a stand strong that they suck.
How dare you, Sambo? But I've also written down here. I feel like, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but I feel like it's un-Australian to like Australian movies. Would you agree with that? Because all my friends I talk to hate Australian movies. And I always hear people say, Australians say, God, I hate Australian movies. How shit are they? I enjoy Australian movies. I feel like it's un-Australian to like Australian movies, though. A lot of Australians don't like our movies.
A lot of Australians like Mad Max and like a fair few. I don't know. I can't think of anyone who says I don't like it necessarily.
What about, did you like the movie Australia?
Not particularly.
Have you seen it? What about you, Jambo? I feel like you'd be an Australia hater, the movie.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Australia. I do like Mad Max, though.
What about Red Dog? That's Australian. Did you enjoy that?
I haven't seen Red Dog, which is also un-Australian.
It's absolute classic, but the amount of people that bag it, I tell you. Also, Wolf Creek is good. Dang, no one can not like Wolf Creek.
Wolf Creek is a good movie. I'm trying to think of other movies that are Australian, though. Like, nothing's really coming to mind. I mean, there are great movies with Australian directors, like Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. That's quality. That is probably the best war movie. Oh, maybe tied with Saving Private Ryan. That is the best war movie there is.
I hate Saving Private Ryan. I don't know why.
I want to say it's un-Australian, but it's not.
Podcast episode is just like unpopular opinions, and when someone says an unpopular opinion, they just get bagged for it. That's what this has become.
What about like going hunting and full driving, that type of thing? You guys into that?
No, I'm not.
Sorry,
Full
I missed
driving,
what-
I
I
don't
missed something.
mind, but
I guess that's.
it's not like the best thing out there.
Are you
Four-wheel
guys
driving and what? Sorry.
like hunting and whatever?
Oh, I've never really done a whole lot of hunting. I've gone out hunting once. There was nearly nothing to shoot the whole time, so I didn't really have the whole hunting experience. Four-wheel driving, I love though. That's a good time. I don't know if that's a definitively Australian thing, but if it is, yeah, I'm all for that.
There's
There
some
you go.
interesting stuff happening in the chat here.
Oh, absolutely. That's getting a bit political in there.
Yeah.
Probably won't touch on all that, but yeah, there you go. I don't know what else is deemed like classic Australian.
I don't know. I feel like I don't tan. I feel like a lot of Australians have tans. I'm like the whitest person out there. I can't tan. I go sunburn instantly. I go beetroot coloured. I feel like that's un-Australian.
Yeah, I mean, slip, slop, slap. That's an Australian law I've often ignored, and I'll probably pay the price for that one day. But all right, there you go. Well, that's pretty much, I guess, talked about things that we all do that are un-Australian. I'm sure there are so many more that I do that I just really can't think of. But so we could probably move straight on to topic number 2 now, which is Dylan's topic, which are classic stitch-ups.
Classic
So
stitch-ups.
Yeah, probably explain that topic a little bit if you could, Dill.
Yeah, well, the reason I was thinking of this topic, not only because have you guys seen that classic stitch up video by Aaron Gox, I think his name is. He's an Australian guy. Have you ever seen that?
I have.
That is an enjoyable video.
I don't think I have.
Yep. But the other day, because I got stitched up pretty good, and that's because I had my first ever brand deal with a company on my YouTube channel. So a brand contacted me and wanted to sponsor a video. And I did a stupid thing. I made the video, put some, questionable stuff in there, because if you know my channel, it's comedy. So I do, questionable stuff. And I didn't send them the copy first. So I just full on uploaded it to the YouTube channel. And I don't know why I did that. They didn't say send it to me first, but I feel like that's like the thing you're supposed to do, is send them the video if it's before they, they need to give you approval to put it up. Anyway, I didn't do that. And a day later, after I uploaded the video, I get a phone call, and it was a missed call from the said company. I'm not going to mention who it was, but and the company says, can you please give us a call? We need to talk about the video and stuff. And I'm like, I listen to the message and I'm panicking. I'm like, oh shit, this like just from the message, they're not like, we're suing you or anything like that, but like you could hear like something bad's happening. It's not a good message. So I'm like panicking. I give them a call and they don't pick up. So I leave a message and I'm waiting. So I'm just like, my whole day is ruined. I'm here at 9 a.m. like, oh shit, I'm waiting for this phone call. Like, what's happening? Hours pass, they still haven't got back to me. So that afternoon, my uncle came over and I was telling him the story. I played him the voicemail from them, and he's like, yeah, that doesn't sound good. So what he did was, while I was telling him the story, he actually texted his friend and told him the situation and got his friend to call me back. And so I full on thought it was the company, and the guy's like, yeah, your video, it's it's got us into a lot of legal trouble. We're gonna have to take legal action against you for the stuff you mentioned in there. You didn't send it to us first. So I'm just like, oh my god, like my heart's racing. But my uncle didn't fully fill him in on the full story, because he only heard what I was telling him. So the guy pretended like he went out of service and like, was going through a tunnel, because he was in the car and was going through a tunnel and, cut out, and like it just hung up. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to call that guy back. I want to like go move to Mexico or something. So I walk out to my uncle. He's like, what happened? I'm like, yeah, it's not good. It is not good. So he got me good. But the good thing about this classic stitch up was that it turns out that they did call me, when they did call me back, it was a similar situation as well with some legal problems anyway. So it kind of prepared me the actual thing. If I had the actual heart attack the first time, it wasn't as bad the second round. But I will admit, he got me good and I got stitched up. So I want to ease my pain a little bit. And if you guys have got any stories of when you've been stitched up, I'd like to hear them.
There you go. Oh, sorry, you go ahead, Drew.
I thought that there was going to be a happy ending to the story. Like they were going to ring up and it was going to be, oh, video, we're going to double the amount of money. Fantastic.
I wish. But the lesson there is if you're doing a brand deal, don't just upload it. Make sure you check with the company first because there is shit you can't say and stuff, especially if you're representing a company.
Then again, I mean, they didn't tell you to run it by them first. I feel like you could maybe get away with something like that, but I don't know. I guess that's a bridge that you're going to have to go over yourself. I don't know. I've never done a brand deal if you can't tell with my 30 subscribers. So
one day.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens one day. But I can't really think of many stitch-ups that have happened to me specifically, like good pranks or anything like that. But I have accidentally stitched up a good friend of mine one time. So we grew up with this kid through primary school, then through high school. We never really saw him again. I was still good friends with my friend, not this other guy. Like we didn't see him for, oh God, it had probably nearly gone like 10 years. And then out of the blue, he gave me a message saying, oh, what are you and your friends up to tonight? I hadn't talked to him for nearly the whole 10 years and we didn't really know what kind of guy he was, I suppose.
Oh, I know where this is going. Yeah, this is a bloody classic stitch up, all right.
I can't remember if you experienced it firsthand or not.
I'm still angry about this, Sambo.
So I had another friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who was also Dylan's cousin. He was having sort of an event going on at his house, which I wasn't going to go to. I had my own other plans to meet up with my girlfriend, I think it was. Either way, I wasn't attending that, but I also didn't want to lie to him and say that my group wasn't doing nothing. So I was like, oh, hey, you should go to this guy's house. Give him a ring. So this was Dylan's cousin's house, and he goes to Dylan's cousin's house, Lockie. He ends up, I don't know, he just acts real strange the whole time and like goes into their bathroom and he's like taking down all their picture frames all around the house for some reason and like doing all kinds of weird shit. And from what I've heard, I don't know if you were there, Dylan, but from what I've heard from Lachlan, it was one of the most awkward experiences that he's ever had, just this strange guy in his house. And that was my fault for sending him there. So
well, it was an awkward situation because imagine, just like put yourself in our shoes. There was only, and when you say event, it was like there was 4 of us and we're just watching TV or something because you bailed on us. Everyone dogged the boys that night. So there was like 4 of us. We're watching TV, and then this guy turns up that you sent over that none of us know. The only person that did know him was like Lockie from like 10 years ago or something, like kindergarten or some shit. So he hasn't seen him in 10 years, knows nothing about him. And, what would you do if this guy is in your house, you don't know him, he goes to the toilet and comes out, and then when you go into the toilet after him, all the picture frames are sitting on the ground. He's taken all the picture frames from the walls and sit on the ground. That's some shit out of Paranormal Activity. I'm glad I don't live in that house. I don't know what he was doing, but that is a stitch up if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, then the same guy, thinking that he's buddies with everyone and stuff, he starts asking us all for money every now and then when we hadn't seen him in all this time and stuff like that. So, actually, he was specifically asking Dylan's cousin for money. It wasn't all of us. So,
and he actually gave him money and he hasn't seen it back. So
he just puts his hat down and looks some change.
Yeah, that's it. So
maybe I've worked it out. He was taking the paintings down because you know how sometimes people have paintings that cover like vaults and that have money in it. Maybe he was looking for some spare change, hid it in the vault, couldn't find any.
That's what it was. Oh, geez, I hope everyone in the household checked their wallets that night, make sure nothing had disappeared. But
seriously, it boggles my mind. Like, can you think of any logical explanation that anyone would do that?
No,
it doesn't add up. It's like it scares me to think about it. Is this guy possessed or something? I don't know. I haven't seen him since, and I don't. I have nothing against the guy personally, but that is weird. That is one weird thing to do.
That is weird. Yeah.
It is weird. And how the story ends anyway, the guy said he was going to go. Everyone else had already left, so it was just my friend Lockie and this guy for ages. The guy said he was going to go and then just stood out and watched him through his window for about half an hour. So like, I don't know. Real creepy guy.
To be fair, I kind of stitched up Lockie as well because I had a mate there. So it was me, Lockie, my brother, and a mate of mine. And the mate said, "Can you take me home?" Because I drove him there and he didn't want to be in that situation anymore. So I took him home, and then I had to go back to pick up Jesse, my brother. And the guy, you know, what were we calling this guy? Just the painting guy who takes the paintings down was still there, and he was waiting for a taxi or something, and the taxi was going to arrive in about half an hour. So it was him, Lockie, Jesse, and I. And then Jesse and I were just like, "Yep, okay, well, we're gonna head. See you guys." So just left Lockie alone with this guy doing weird shit around his house because we didn't really want to be in there. But I feel sorry for Lockie now, who had to deal with him alone doing weird stuff like that. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Lockie got stitched up a lot. Yeah.
Do you catch up with him still? Does he still come over?
I haven't seen him hang out. I think he passed the stitch up along because since he borrowed the $20 off Lockie, we haven't seen him since. He's not getting that $20 back. But look, as long as we don't see him again and he doesn't try and move any of the paintings, it's a good deal. I reckon $20 and the paintings stay up.
Yeah, well, Lockie's also moved house since then into a house with me, and we haven't told the guy where we live. So I think, yeah, we've sort of avoided that situation now. But what about you, Drew? Have you come across any stitch ups?
I've been thinking. I haven't really had any stitch ups, but I just thought of a funny story back from Muck Up Day back in high school about 5 years ago or so. Basically, the idea was in the school library. There was the roofs you can like push up. So I'm like, I should put something that would stink in there because it was just about to go to school holidays. So I got some meat and I put it in the roof. So over the school holidays, it will go rotten. Ooh, but that day, thinking back on it, like I was thinking, if it actually goes real bad, it's gonna ruin the roof, and if it gets found out but it's me, then I'll probably have to pay for it. So probably not a great idea, but it was funny at the time when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
They're actually doing electrician was making the roof.
Oh no.
He actually came across it. So I don't know if they actually me or not, but I never got in trouble for it. But
I wonder what the electrician was thinking when he just sees, what was it, just raw meat up in there?
Yeah, it's just a plate. It's just a plate of meat. That's all.
If I was him, I'd be thinking like they're either keeping someone up here or some sort of animal, and that's the food for them. My life's in danger. I need to get out of this roof. Some weird shit's happening up here.
That's where they keep the kids. They're just putting it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Over the holidays.
The way you could have spun it, there are some homeless kids, some orphans that you know about who can't get into the orphanages anyway, so you just leave some food for them in a little private spot at the school. You're doing a good thing. That's what I would have done if I was found.
Because everyone was doing like, fill up the cups of water, put it at a door so the water falls over, and just boring things like that. I thought, do something a bit different, put some meat in the roof.
Yeah, we didn't get a muck up day at my school. Ours got banned from people like you causing mayhem, putting meat in the roof and stuff.
That's right.
I was stopped early.
It's more than we were allowed to do. So,
damn.
Do you know what stopped the muck up day at your school?
I've heard stories. I don't know if how true it is, but I've heard that someone took. Actually, I don't know if that was my school or someone was telling me. Anyway, interesting story. Apparently, cows can't walk down steps. They can go up steps, but they can't go down steps. I don't know if you've heard this. I think I've Googled. I think it's a fact. So someone's taken a cow into like this really tall building in the school, led it all the way up, like right up to the top, and it can't get out because it can't go down steps for some reason. So they had to like hire a crane. The school had to hire a crane to get this cow out of the tower, out of the tallest building in the school. So then they just said, that's enough. We're sick of this shit. No more muck up day.
They'll be able to go down the stairs. It'll probably just slip over and fall down the stairs though.
Yeah, probably. So it just doesn't want to do it. So they can't, I don't know, are they going to push the cow down the stairs? It's a bit gruesome. So they had to get a crane. bit inhumane to push a cow down the stairs. But,
yeah. Well, I've definitely heard the same stories that Dylan and I went to the same school, separate years. I was a couple of years above, but we did go to the same school. I did hear that as well. So, that's
school.
probably it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The school that we went to was very proud of their agriculture, very, very proud of it. And they had very expensive and premium cows on the school grounds. It wouldn't have been hard to do what these guys pulled off at all.
Yeah, and they can't just push those premium cows down the stairs. So.
That's right. And I did hear one other story. I think it was from the year before that happened that also sort of contributed to Muck Up Day shutting down at the school we went to. And that was a bunch of guys got toy guns that looked very realistic and put on balaclavas, got out of school uniform and stuff like that, and did a fake school shooting. And they had people who were in on it as well, who they pretended to like shoot or injure and stuff like that. And they sent the school into lockdown. And
shit.
Yeah, so shit sort of hit the fan. Apparently, like police came in and everything. It was like a whole big ordeal. So that was another one that I'd heard from that school as well. So I think
that's crazy.
With two occasions like that, it doesn't surprise me Muck Up Day was shut down.
Yeah.
I want to know how Muck Up Day started. Like, whose idea was it that just like, let's just let the year 12s go do crazy shit, like take the cows upstairs and, cause gun bomb threats. Like, it's a weird sort of day, isn't it?
It really is. Like, most schools just, like toilet paper the school or something. The school we happen to go to just takes it a bit above and beyond, I guess. Was there anything extreme that people did at your school at all, Drew?
I think there was something similar to the cow. I think someone got some goats and put them in the principal's office or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds real. I don't know. But we got to water bomb the teachers and stuff like that. Pretty.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so that actually sounds like fun.
Like the toilet paper and the water bombs or like a water fire, that sounds good. But I think people doing too crazy stuff is what gets it banned. If everyone just stuck to that, it'd be a fun day. But well.
Yeah. I want some.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
Watching, if someone's still in high school and you're watching this, feel free to put some meat in just any roof in the school.
Yeah, be inspired by our ideas. If you can find a cow, they can't walk downstairs. That's a fun tip. We're not endorsing anything, but it's just it's a fact that you might want to know about.
Yeah,
that's it. That meat one would smell though. Like, so when the electrician saw you, did he do anything about it? Like, did the meat actually stay up there?
No, he didn't see me. He was just doing his work, and he come across a plate of meat. So I got there early. I got the ladder out, put the ladder back in my car. And
how do you know he found the meat? Like, how did you find out that, or you saw him find it, or?
I think someone told me. Someone said it's like, oh, they've found it. I'm like, oh, how? It's like there's an electrician putting in. I think he was actually putting in cameras.
Oh, lucky you weren't there after the cameras.
Wow,
no,
yeah.
So he was actually, it was putting the wires in for security cameras for the library. So that was,
Man, you got him up just in time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But trying to think of other stitch-ups that I've been involved in, and I really can't think of many. I know there probably has been plenty, but like stuff like this happens to me every time I'm podcasting. When I'm trying to think about it actively, if it's not just coming up in a story, I can never think of it. It's the worst thing about doing stuff like this, not just being able to think of stories on the fly.
You'll listen back to it. You're like, oh, I've got this awesome story. I wish I told it.
That's it. But, man.
I think we covered some good ones.
I think so too, especially Muck Up Day. That turned out to be a good little subtopic. But if we were to move into topic number 3 now, which is some of our favorite podcasts. If your answers aren't the CasualCast by Banter Lab, then you may kindly show yourself out. But no,
technically it's an actual podcast now. You're on iTunes and everything.
It is. We're actually on all the official podcast stuff. I got off my ass and got it up there. So if you want to listen to an actual good edited version of this, definitely hit us up there. That's out on Wednesdays. But I've noticed, Drew, that you're wearing a shirt of the guys who do probably my favorite bunch of podcasts. They do all sorts of them. Kind of funny. Bunch of guys from San Francisco making all the good shit. How did you come across those guys?
I listened to Greg and Colin for years at IGN before they went to Kind of Funny, and I come across IGN. The first podcast I ever listened to was actually Nintendo Voice Chat by IGN. So I was just on iTunes and I typed in Nintendo and they come up. And every week I look forward to their podcast coming out on Thursdays. And eventually I branched out to other IGN podcasts because I was interested in the Vita. So I went to Podcast Beyond, which is their PlayStation thing. And that's how I come across those guys. And when they went to Kind of Funny, followed them. And I listened to heaps of gaming podcasts and a few other sort of topics as well. I really like podcasts because it's easy to fit in. Just put it in your ears if you're going for a walk or if you're doing work that you don't need to be engaged with people and stuff like that. Yeah. What about yourself, apart from Kind of Funny?
So apart from Kind of Funny, I've got too many to list. So probably the ones that I listen to the most are still the IGN ones. I still listen to Podcast Beyond. Actually, that's probably the only IGN one. And then apart from that, I listen to the Sugar Pine 7 podcast, which it's kind of like a variety one. I don't know if you guys have ever listened to it. They're guys who do a YouTube channel, kind of like Arrested Development put onto YouTube, and then their podcast is just talking about them making that and all kinds of other shit. It's really not structured at all, which is one of the things I like about it. They're just a bunch of really funny improv guys. So I listen to their podcast every week. Funhouse's podcast, Dude Soup, as well as most of the podcasts from the Explosion Network, which you guys would be familiar with a few of the hosts coming on this show.
Yes.
Definitely hit them up if you haven't listened to them. They do all sorts of gaming ones, just a variety one about anything, sports, like all sorts of good stuff. So definitely hit those guys up if you haven't already. And then the Comedy Button.
Really enjoy their stuff as well.
Yeah. They do a lot of good solid shows. They're putting in some good work. And then so I listen to the Comedy Button as well, just for a good laugh every now and then. But there is another solid podcast that I've only listened to a couple of episodes of, but it's actually starting to become one of my favorites. And Dylan should be able to tell us a lot about it. It's actually his own podcast.
Oh, thank you, Sambo, for those kind words. But actually, before I get into that, did you see the review I left on your podcast, Sambo? I'm not sure if you would have seen it.
I didn't even know you could check reviews.
All right. You've got a bloody good 5-star review on there that you better check. And I expect you to read it out on this episode for a review shout out, please. But yeah, I have a podcast called the Small YouTuber Podcast where I interview, small YouTubers doing cool things. We've got the Banner Lab guys coming on this week. We're going to be interviewing them. So that should be going up next weekend. We've interviewed some pretty crazy people. We've got a lot more to do. But some of my favorite podcasts, and I normally don't listen to many entertainment podcasts I've noticed. I'm looking through mine. A lot of mine are like educational, which sounds a bit boring. Like I listen to the Smart Passive Income podcast, which, it shows you how to start a business sort of thing, how to make money online, stuff like that. But the few entertainment ones I do watch, have you guys seen the Roundabout Crew on YouTube? They make comedy videos. They have a podcast. I haven't listened to a huge amount of episodes yet, but the ones I have, they're pretty good. It's kind of like a radio show without the music sort of thing. So they've got like cool segments and stuff. And the other one that I have been meaning to get into is the H3 podcast.
Oh yeah, that's another one I listen to. I don't know how I forgot that.
I need to do it because I've been watching the highlights on YouTube and some of those are good. My favorite ones are the ones where they talk about the ghost stories. Damn, those are good. That stuff always interests me, where they talk about the paranormal experiences. Because I'm like Ethan. He's never had a paranormal experience. So he asks his guests, have you had any? I've never had any. And it's cool to hear some. Have you guys had any paranormal experiences?
I guess you could say I've had some experiences that could be conceived as paranormal. Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to hear one, Sambo. I love this sort of stuff.
Sorry, was that a no from you, Drew?
Unfortunately, I haven't. I went through a phase where I was fascinated by ghosts and all stuff like that, and it's sort of like when you think about it too much, you go out in the dark. You're like, oh, you're a bit worried. But no, I haven't had any experiences. I wish I sort of have, but at the same time, I'm happy I haven't.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. I wish I have, but kind of wish I haven't actually. I wish I had because I want to know. Like you hear other people say, they've had these experiences, and it's hard to, if you've never experienced it yourself, you're like, is it real? Are ghosts real? Is this shit real? If you'd seen it with your own eyes, you'd probably believe it. But at the same time, I don't want to see ghosts or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I saw a ghost or anything
on YouTube either.
Yeah, that's right. But I feel like I don't know, a lot of the experiences people would say feel like a paranormal one can definitely be explained as just a natural phenomenon. Like the one that I felt like was a paranormal one. It definitely wouldn't have been. So it was just, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have heard of sleep paralysis and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah. So it was a hit of that. So it was when I was living in Newcastle. It just woke me up with a jolt. It feels like something's holding you down. You can't move or anything. Like you can't even make a sound. I tried to make a sound, couldn't breathe. I could breathe like after a little bit. Probably only lasted like 8 seconds. It felt like a lot longer than that though.
Dang.
But like I don't know. I think your mind just does crazy shit when that happens. But like I thought I was seeing people in my room as that happened as well. But I don't know. I feel like if you're in a state of panic like that when you've never felt it, then you're probably gonna see shit. Your brain will try to rationalize it. I don't know, but like at the time I was thinking that was a weird paranormal experience. Whether it was or not, I mean, who knows? I feel like it can be rationalized. But yeah, so just woke up with a jolt of that. Could see like 3 or 4 people. It looked like they were just moving throughout my room. And then once it wore off, like there was obviously no one in there. And then I got the sleep paralysis again, like 15 minutes later. Didn't see anything that time though. But yeah, that's probably like the one experience I guess people could construe as that. But then there are stories that I've heard from other people where it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like a really good friend of mine, one of his ex-girlfriends was telling me a story. She reckons like she could see ghosts all the time. So anyway, one time she was in bed with her boyfriend. They've both been sleeping for a while, and she woke up because someone said her name, but her boyfriend was the only other person in the room. And he was asleep, so it couldn't have been him. But so she opened her eyes and sat up, and there was like a kind of faded old man sitting on the end of it.
Oh, Christ.
And then he
He's
started
getting me
talking.
scared here, Sambo. Like,
We'll talk about some creepy stories we've heard. Why not? But so yeah, like he started speaking, but he stopped speaking to her. He started speaking to what he was talking, like he was saying like his grandkids or something like that. And then all of a sudden these like little kids started appearing in the room and stuff like that. And they were all talking to each other and then talking to him. And then so she shook her boyfriend up, like woke him up being like, oh, there's someone in here. And he got up, didn't see anything. And when he got up, everything left. And yeah, but apparently her and all of her family members say that they've seen similar people. Like she described what they look like. Her family members say that they've seen similar looking people in that house and like, popping up in their rooms and whatnot. They always felt it was haunted. You could say they're very spiritual people. And yeah, they reckon they've seen all kinds of stuff. So
that's what gets me is when multiple people see the same thing. Like if someone by themselves sees a ghost or whatever, you can be like, okay, you might have been seeing things, mental problems, I don't know. But if there's multiple people who see the same ghost and says it looks like this, how can that be fake? Unless they're just both lying or whatever. But when multiple people see the same thing, then you're like, shit, something's going on here. They can't both be crazy and see the exact same thing.
Absolutely. What about you, Drew? Have you seen or heard of any like weird stuff?
No, I haven't.
I've actually got a story. What if, because I've convinced myself, maybe for the sake of my sanity, I've tried to convince myself that this wasn't a paranormal experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you and you guys can let me know what you think. I don't see a way how it could be explained logically, but I don't know. But anyway, I'll tell the story. So I make comedy skits on my YouTube channel. Been doing it since 2011. So this is probably a few years ago now. I was making a skit that's on my YouTube channel. It's called Demon Hunters. So essentially, a group of friends of mine, we waited till about midnight and we got a video camera and we were filming an improv sketch called Demon Hunters where we were going to, try and find demons in the house sort of thing. And what we did was I have a friend called Barry and we handcuffed him to the bed, legit handcuffs, mind you, not the little plastic ones. He was full on handcuffed to the bed. I got him at like some jail. It was Maitland jail. It's closed down, but you can go there and visit and stuff and they give you souvenirs. So I bought these legit handcuffs. So he's handcuffed to the bed. And basically we were doing a scene where we were saying he was possessed. Right. And us demon hunters had to get the demon out of him. So we've got my cousin Lockie, who we've mentioned on the show before. He was basically pretending to be a priest. Well, not a priest, but just like reading out, Christ compels you and stuff people would say in horror movies like that, which we Googled beforehand. We're like, what do priests say in exorcisms? And it says, here's the exact words they use, but be warned, if you're not a priest, do not say this. If you're not a priest, crazy shit happens if you say these things, so don't say them. And we're like, yeah, whatever. So we got Lockie to say them anyway. I probably wouldn't have said them, but he was like, yeah, bullshit, I'm saying it anyway. So he starts like saying Lockie. It. Yeah, so mind you, it's 12 o'clock, it's dark, but we've got like torches from our phones lighting up the room a little bit, so it's very faint. So basically, Barry's pretending to be possessed, handcuffed to the bed. Lockie's saying, the power of Christ compels you, the power of Christ compels you. And you can see my room right now, right? On this side, there's the bed. I'll try and describe it for the audio listeners, but on this side, the far side is the bed where this is happening. On the other side, the opposite side of the room, meters away, I've got a bookshelf. Now, on the bookshelf, I can show the video listeners, I have this glow-in-the-dark Mary doll. So it's Mary, the mother of Jesus, all right? Yeah, this is some real shit I'm saying right now. For those the podcast listeners, this is a Mary doll. It's about, how big is it? 30 centimeters tall, and it glows in the dark. Now, this is a doll that my grandmother gave me, and it's been passed down generations and generations. So it's an ancient sort of thing. Anyways, it's on the bookshelf, and I can't really show you with my webcam, but it's like in there. It's not just like sitting on the edge or anything. It's in there. There's normally like shit in front of it. Like it's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's in there for good. So Barry's like pretending to be possessed. We're not shaking the room or nothing. Nothing's moving in the room. We're just like saying the words. He's just like, I'm possessed or whatever. And no joke.
As you do when
you're yeah, he's screaming and shit. No word of a lie. This Mary doll, no one's looking at it, mind you. We're all on this side of the room. There's no one over here. The door's shut. This Mary doll, we just hear like a noise, of the doll dropping. And we just look, and this doll's on the ground, like a meter from where it is. And we're just like, what the actual shit? Like, how did that fall? There was no way that could have fell. We're not moving. We're not shaking the room. And it's ages away from anyone. And this Mary doll, glow in the dark, falls on the ground. So there's a glowing Mary doll on the ground on the other side of the room. So essentially we all run off, scared, run out of the room. And Barry's handcuffed to the bed, can't get out. In the dark, we've left the torches with this possessed, Mary doll or whatever. He's probably shitting his pants. But man, I was like, what the hell? How does that happen? And people who weren't there, they'd be like, yeah, okay, you must have bumped something. No one was near this bookshelf. There's no way it could have fallen off. I don't know how that happened, but it's bloody hell, it scared me since.
There you go. So you said you rationalized that. How did you rationalize that?
I don't know if I've rationalized it. I'm just like, I try not to think about it because I have to sleep in this room. The doll's still here. Nothing's really happened since. But I'm just like, yeah, it's probably, there's no demons. There's probably a reason that happened. I try not to think about it, but I don't know. It gets me.
Earthquake.
Yeah, but like if it was an earthquake,
Yeah.
like nothing else in the room shook. Nothing else fell. It's just this Mary doll. And like, it's in a ledge. Like if you bumped it, like, okay, it was sitting like this. I'm shaking the desk now. Nothing's fallen. Like you'd have to full on like run into the bloody thing for it to fall down. No one did that. We weren't moving. Like it's like, how did that happen? So
Couldn't tell you. That's weird. Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that because of that experience, I believe in ghosts or anything, because I didn't see a ghost. I didn't see a demon or anything. It's just a doll has fallen down in a creepy situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know about it. That's my story anyway.
That's actually reminded me of a story my boss told me once. Because I work at a pub, and across the road from the pub, there's actually a Catholic church. And the owners of the pub, they're all Catholic. So when they first bought the place, because they live upstairs, so priests over, or whatever it is, I'm not sure. he's going around doing the signs and throwing the holy water around, and he said, oh, apparently there's a ghost. There's ghosts in here because it's a 100-year-old pub. Shit. So they're like, yeah, whatever. So he's in the bottle-o and he's throwing out his water, or I'm not Catholic. I've got no idea what he's. Apparently, all of the bottles from the shelves just all came tumbling down. Just all got.
Oh shit!
Jeez.
And they had it on security camera, and the owner of the pub's just like, okay, because he
Dang.
would have been there for about 2 months or something. Like they only just got there, so they got no idea how that happened. Just all the
Jeez.
bottles and all the liquor come from the thing. I was like,
Dang.
yeah.
So did you know the pub owner or the priest, or how did you know these people?
Because I work at the pub. So I know-
gotcha.
I know-
So
I
you
know the
work at this haunted pub.
Apparently, I've never sensed anything, but there's the owner's son. He lives upstairs, and he thinks he hears things. And in the kitchen, there's been stories in the kitchen of seeing things and like
I'm not
levitating.
sleeping tonight. I'll tell you that much. Oh, this shit gets me.
Man,
It's
that
especially
is
funny. It's especially funny when like the kids they're washing the plates for the night, getting ready, and it's only like 2 of them in, and you're bringing plates in, but you sneak up on them.
Yeah, all the new people and stuff like that. Just, oh yeah, this place is haunted. Then just creep them out. It sounds like something I would do. Has anyone else who works there say that they've felt or seen anything there? Hello?
I think we've lost him.
Oh no!
His screen's frozen. I can't. Yeah, he's possessed. He's said too much about this demon. It's got him basically. That's
They've got me.
living proof on the podcast. You don't mess with demons. You don't spread their stories. They will get you. They will find you and they will kill you.
Well, this is weird because my Audacity is still picking it up, so the edited version will be fine. But what is going on?
Yeah. Except he can't hear us, can he? Or
this is really weird. I can hear you just fine.
I'm really worried for Drew right now. Like I'm 99% sure he's been killed. Killed or
Oh,
possessed.
is it Drew that's frozen? I thought it was me.
No, it's not you.
I'm like, oh
It's Drew that's
no.
It's Drew.
Oh no.
It's because he was talking about the demon and the demon didn't like it.
Oh,
Like
that's
he's
right.
dead, Sambo.
CasualCast
laughing,
spooky
Sambo.
stories.
Stop laughing. He's full on dead and you're just making a joke out of it. This is goddamn serious.
The podcast is haunted now.
His profile picture just changed. It's changed to his profile picture. The demon, I think, is impersonating him. If he comes back, how can we know it's him?
What if
How do
that
we know
picture
he's not
changes to
possessed?
the demon?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But if it's possessed him and pretends to be him, how can we be sure that it's true?
Well,
Then
if
we're
it
not
all
actually-
happens, we have it on live stream.
Exactly.
This is
Well,
the CasualCast chance to take off. Sorry, it's at your expense, Drew. But
That's
I
sorry you had
sincerely
to.
hope you're fine.
Sorry you had to either die or be possessed. But look, it's got raked in the views. So thank you very much.
So yeah, he is just completely cut off. God knows what's happened to him, but
Yeah,
There
only
you
God
go.
knows. God and the demon.
that's right. So it's
Hopefully,
just-
I'm not next. I was spreading stories.
you might be. So if I ask Lockie about your story, he will definitely say that the
Ask
same
him.
thing
He
happened.
was there. He was there.
Right. Because I wouldn't put it past Lockie to just sneakily like grab the statue and pull it down just to scare everyone. That
Yeah,
sounds like a classic Lockie stitch up.
Yeah, that would, Sambo. But I'm talking. Look, I'm looking at the room right now. He was over there in the corner there, so he'd be at least 1, 2, 4 meters. Like his arms are long, but they're not that long.
Oh, they're the longest,
and like
lankiest arms of all time.
actually, what I should do is go back through my old footage. I can't. Like I think we would have got it on camera. No, that's right. We didn't get the doll falling on camera because obviously we weren't
It was
filming
aimed
that
at
side of the
Barry
room.
handcuffed. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just Barry handcuffed. But I can't remember. It's years ago, but I'm pretty sure you hear the noise and hear us see us shit our pants.
Yeah.
But no, you can't put that on YouTube and it'll go viral because everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, you heard a noise and then got scared." That's so real. But for us, it was real.
It'll still get you a lot of views. Everyone be like, oh yeah, it's fake. But even though the topic was podcasts, I feel like that's probably a good place to leave it, especially now that we've lost Drew. I don't know where he is. He could be dead.
Keep in mind though, he's recording his audio separately, isn't he? So
That's right.
he could
So
be talking right now. I don't know. It could be.
his audio could just be.
Actually, he's recording his audio separately, so we could hear him getting possessed right now.
That's true. So for the people watching the stream, definitely listen to the edited version of this. You might find out what actually happened to Drew. Drew, I sincerely hope that you're okay. But I guess we'll find out. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
He's gone. He's dropped out of the call. He could be dead.
Demon ain't having none of this shit. They're out.
Please tweet by Wednesday, Drew, so that we know that you're okay. I am following you on Twitter. If no one else is following you on Twitter and you want to know if he's still alive, go follow him at iDrewby. He also does that on Twitch and YouTube, plus the House of Mario podcast. And also check out Dylan Swain on YouTube and Twitter. On Twitter is Dylan Swain AU, putting out quality variety comedy, like sketch content stuff. It's all really good. He put out a great video today, actually, featuring the one and only Lockie that we've been talking about.
I swear we talk about him every podcast somehow. He comes up. He's a man that we can talk a lot about. He's an interesting fella.
He is an interesting fella. One of the most interesting. But yeah. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's in the chat. Here we go. Can I just say before we go, Lockie, can you confirm? I'd have to tell the story again because I don't think he was listening to it. But Lockie, do you remember that time? I don't want to, say anything and like put it in his head that he'll agree with me. So Sambo, do you want to say it? Do you want to ask him, if it's real? Because I don't want to say something and like get him to be like, yeah, that happened. Lockie, you can say.
When you were pretending to exercise Barry while he was chained to a bed on a YouTube video that you made on Dylan's channel, did a Mary statue fall off his desk without anyone touching it?
And for anyone who just joined us, this is the Mary statue. For anyone who's watching the video version, glow in the dark.
Also, welcome Noah. Thank you for joining us, my fantastic cousin. All right. Wow, we both have a cousin in the chat at the moment. But anyway.
Nice. There we go. He said, yes, sir.
Yes, it happened. Well, I'll believe you. You are my housemate. I'll take it. But this is probably a good spot to wrap it up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us on iTunes. We are posting an audio-only edited version of that show on there now. So go follow us on there. We are the CasualCast. We have the same channel art, so that'll obviously show you which one we are. Give us a review on there as well, preferably 5 stars. But if you think we're crap, then give us a crap review. Yeah, we're now a weekly show. Live streamed every Monday, so that's a new thing to this podcast now. And I've been Sam with Dylan Swain with Bantalab, and until next time, au revoir. What a crappy improvised outro. Arrivederci.
Lockie said, I can confirm. See, it's full on true.
It happened. There you go. Go surreal.
Definitely. Well, I don't know about